Brendan Fraser is an actor from the 90s who thrived in the Mummy trilogy. He has played numerous leading roles in comedy and fantasy films, and Brendan was at the peak in his career until he decided to expose a Hollywood elite. Once he revealed that he was violated by the president of the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, his career crumbled, and he never got the justice he deserved. So let's get into it. Do you ever feel tired throughout the day or like you're not getting enough sleep? Well, you probably aren't getting good sleep, and Manta Sleep can help you out with that. Their state-of-the-art eye mask is the best eye mask I've ever come across. It gives you 100% blackout, and it feels like there's nothing there. That's because you can adjust it in so many ways. You can adjust the comfy head strap to your liking, and you can rearrange the soft eye cups to fit your face. I absolutely love the eye cups because there is zero pressure on your face. And if you are someone who wears eyelash extensions, these will protect your eyes. Your sleep is so important to your mood and who you are. So let Manta bring you happiness with a well-rested night of sleep. I am so in love with this eye mask. I've been wearing eye masks my entire life, and this is by far the best one I've ever had. So go and treat yourself or a loved one to a Manta Sleep mask. Follow the link in the description below and use my code SLOAN, SLOAN, for 10% off your purchase. Thank you, Manta Sleep, for sponsoring this video, and enjoy. So Brendan Fraser is a Canadian-American actor who played Rick O'Connell in the Mummy trilogy. He has also been featured in George of the Jungle, Bedazzled, Looney Tunes, and The Journey to the Center of the Earth. The reason why we're talking about Brendan Fraser is because there's been this viral interview clip where Brendan is getting emotional talking about his up-and-coming film. The reason why he's getting emotional is because he's gotten a lot of support around his return to the big screen, because he's been away for a minute, and we'll talk about why. But here's that clip where he gets all choked up.
I'm going to work with Scorsese and Leo and Bob De Niro.
Yes, I saw. Congratulations. That's so
Thank
exciting.
you. I think I might be sick. A little anxious.
Oh no.
I mean, it's going to be fun.
You got this. You've got this.
Got it.
Just know that the internet is so behind you. We're so supportive. There are so many people out there who love you, and we're rooting for you, and we can't wait to see what you do next.
Shucks, ma'am.
It's so refreshing when you see someone express genuine emotion, and you can tell that he's overwhelmed by the support. But you guys are probably wondering, what happened, Sloan? Like, why was he such a big star in the 90s, and then he seemed to disappear, and now he's returning in this new film? So back in 2003, Brendan Fraser claims that the HFPA president, Phillip Berk, S.A.'d him. So the HFPA is the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, and this is a non-profit organization made up of journalists and photographers who report on the entertainment industry. Phillip Berk is actually the most well-known president of the HFPA, and this is because this guy Ricky hosted the Golden Globes, and he pretty much poked fun at Phillip Berk, claiming that he helped him like pull out his teeth on the toilet or something. Listen to him go off.
Next up, Eva Longoria has the daunting task of introducing the president of the Hollywood Foreign Press. That's nothing. I just had to help him off the toilet and pop his teeth in. It was messy. Please welcome Eva Longoria.
That guy Ricky is such a savage to be going off on those elites like that, and this is what Phillip had to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the president of the Hollywood Foreign Press, Phillip Berk.
Thank you, Eva. And Ricky, next time you want me to help you qualify your movies, go to another guy.
Phillip didn't seem happy in that clip because he wasn't. And ever since that night at the Golden Globes, he hasn't forgiven Ricky. But maybe that's because he's an old, grumpy man. I mean, he's currently 88 years old, and he has been accused of SAing Brendan Fraser. Brendan publicly spoke about this situation back in 2018. He did an interview with GQ, and it's titled, "Whatever Happened to Brendan Fraser?" because a lot of people wanted to know. But during this interview with GQ, he opened up about that experience with Phillip and the damage that it did. So everything went down in the summer of 2003. They were at the Beverly Hills Hotel, and there was a lunch being held by the HFPA. While Brendan was leaving the hotel, he was actually called out by Phillip Berk, and he told him, come over here, Brendan. When Brendan got to Phillip, Phillip reached out his hand, but he didn't grab Brendan's hand. He actually grabbed his butt and started grabbing his whole area down here, just right up in public. Brendan claims that he was overcome with panic and fear because he felt this guy just like grabbing his crotch, and it was weird. Brendan claims that this incident made him feel ill. I felt like a little kid. I felt like there was a ball in my throat. I thought I was going to cry. He then rushed home and told his wife about the encounter, but he was afraid to go public with the incidents because this guy was a pretty important man. So Brendan didn't know what to do. Does he make this public? He's never been in a situation like this, so he's lost, and he asks his representatives to go and talk to the HFPA and ask for a written apology. Phillip Berk actually did write an apology to Brendan Fraser, but the apology was really not an apology. It was like I'm sorry that you were offended, but like I never actually did anything to you. So Brendan didn't feel like he actually was sorry and not fulfilled by that apology. Actually, according to Brendan, the HFPA also promised that it would never allow Phillip Berk to be in a room with Brendan Fraser again, which I don't know how you go about that, but Brendan still felt depressed. He started telling himself that he deserved what happened to him. I was blaming myself, he said. I was miserable. This is nothing. This guy reached around and he copped a feel. That summer wore on, and I can't remember what I went on to work on next. So he was so distracted by this incident that he just felt sad and depressed and just blaming himself. And it's never okay to cop a feel or touch someone. It is never okay. If someone is violating your personal space or touching you or making you feel uncomfortable in any way, it is not okay. I mean, that's harassment to say the least. Phillip Berk has actually talked about this situation in his memoir. It's titled With Signs and Wonders, but he claims that he just pinched Brendan's butt as a joke. But according to Brendan, it wasn't a joke, and he had to forcefully remove this old man's hand from his behind. Once Phillip Berk released his book, he got in big trouble because he put in a lot of crap about just a bunch of different people, not only Brendan, and this actually got him in trouble. So because he wrote this awful book, he was actually forced into a leave of absence from the organization. But Phillip didn't get kicked out of the HFPA because he actually confirmed that he violated Brendan Fraser, right? No, that would be a little bit too logical for Hollywood. The reason why Phillip Berk was forced into a leave of absence is because he talked a bunch of crap about his fellow colleagues in the organization. A lot of the HFPA members felt blindsided by this book because Phillip took a lot of shots at them and Hollywood celebrities. He also took way too much credit for the success of the Globes. So this guy crapped on a bunch of his colleagues and spilt some secrets. He also talked crap about some Hollywood celebrities, and he claims that he's behind the success of the Globes, which that pissed off a lot of people, and he had to take a leave of absence. One insider said he wasn't suspended. There was no vote by the members because this is a journalist organization that respects the First Amendment. Unfortunately, free speech covers stupid speech too. A group of members are unsatisfied with the leave of absence, and they are going to try to put more sanctions on Phillip Berk once he's back. It's interesting that this guy actually gets in trouble once he talks crap about his colleagues, but he can go and grab, men and celebrities and actors and who knows what else he did, and he doesn't get in trouble then. But I did find one statement from the organization about Brendan's situation, which was pretty hard to find. They pretty much said that they stand with Brendan Fraser and they stand against SA and harassment and all of that. They put out a pretty generic statement, but it was way overdue because keep in mind, back in 2003 when this happened, he had his reps reach out to them. So they could have issued an apology back then, but this is what he got. And it only came after, I believe, the GQ article, so it took some public pressure. And because Brendan went through all of this, it has changed his career and his life. Brendan said the incident made him reclusive, and he retreated from public life. He also questioned if the HFPA blacklisted him because he was rarely invited back to the Globes. So because he spoke out against Phillip Berk, he believes that his career was derailed. He was quoted saying, "When the phone stops ringing in your career, you start asking yourself why. There are many reasons, but was this one of them? I think it was." I had to change the wording a little bit, but that's the same idea. Here's a clip of Brendan talking a little bit about his feelings on this.
You were reading in GQ and you did an interview and you were questioning if you had been blackballed from the industry after you had revealed about your assault at the hands of that Hollywood exec. Do you think that you were blackballed in the aftermath of that?
I felt that there's a time in anyone's career when the phone stops ringing, and I don't think that the HFPA really wielded that much power. This was not an executive. This was a former president of that organization, which is essentially journalists. I'm hopeful that we can make even more progress than we have done already, which is a good start. Insofar as speaking up when if and when this happens to people.
It's really scary to think about how much power this organization could have, because if they do run the Golden Globes, I mean, that's a lot of power. And if he's not invited back, that's not good for his career. When Brendan was asked about his feelings nowadays, he said, "Am I still frightened? Absolutely. Do I feel like I need to say something? Absolutely. Have I wanted to many, many times? Absolutely. Have I stopped myself? Absolutely." Brendan said in this interview, "Maybe I'm overreaching in terms of what the instance was. I just know what my truth is." I believe the Me Too movement inspired Brendan to speak out. He even said that Rose McGowan inspired him because, she's been exposing Hollywood, which if you guys want a video about her, comment below. So I feel glad that he feels supported nowadays to speak out about this. But I do have to acknowledge this because if you were to Google right now, what happened to Brendan Fraser's acting career, they bring up these surgeries that he had to have, and I do want to acknowledge that he did have a bunch of surgeries because he did stunts and he hurt himself, so he had to go and get some things fixed. But there was still a lot of impact from this whole SA thing, so even though he had to go and have a few surgeries, that doesn't just end your career. So there's a reason why he was blacklisted. And speaking of blacklisted, Phillip Berk also got blacklisted himself. It was actually recently in 2021 because he was speaking out against Black Lives Matter and he was expelled. He supposedly sent an article and an email to a few of his colleagues, and this article described the Black Lives Matter movement as a hate movement, and this is something that he probably shouldn't have done. We can't say the R word, the ism word on YouTube, but the email was falling into that category, and one employee described it as vile. Phillip Berk did respond, and he said that he was just trying to illustrate the hypocrisy and that he sent it off to these coworkers because he wanted it to be a point of information and that he had no hidden agenda and that he does regret sending it, which I'm sure he does because he was expelled. This was actually Phillip's third strike in the organization, so it's time for him to get out. And honestly, it was about time because he should have been kicked out as soon as it was revealed that he grabbed Brendan Fraser. Seeing that viral interview clip of Brendan is so heartwarming because it shows you guys that the right side will win at the end of the day, because Phillip Berk is out of here and now we've got Brendan coming back to the big screen. So I want to hear what you guys think in the comments below. I know a lot of you guys wanted me to talk about this video, so if you have any other video ideas for me, here is my email. But let's go ahead and open a PO Box package item. This one is from Tess, and it looks like she's from the West Coast, which I'm headed to the West Coast pretty soon. Let's go ahead and see what they sent me. It feels kind of heavy, so I'm interested in what this is going to be. So let's go ahead and read the note first. Oh, and we've got a card, so if you want to go and check out their store, Fragile Beings, everything will be listed below. I love the name and just the vibe of the card already. So let's see what they wrote. Hi Sloan, I love your channel. Thank you for all the work you've done for the Free Britney movement. I hope that you like these coasters. They're handmade of epoxy resin. I'm a small YouTuber, Local Sparrow, which I'll list below, and you create tutorials and beauty reviews. That's awesome. I also run an Etsy, Fragile Beings, and I would love to send you more goodies if you see anything you like. Aw, thank you so much, Tess. That is so adorable. I really appreciate that. So go and check out their YouTube channel and their shop below. Go and support a fellow creator. And let's go ahead and see these coasters. I'm so excited to see. Whoa. Oh my gosh, these are so pretty. What? Okay, so they're like resin coasters here, and look, it's like a really beautiful blue and gold. There's a lot of gold on this side, but like, look, this is like the bottom because it's got little coaster things, and these are so pretty. Oh my gosh, they look like a stormy sea, you know what I mean? Like a stormy ocean at night. These are so pretty, Tess, and the finish on them too is really good, because sometimes when you have like is it called acrylic? I can't remember. Resin, like it won't finish right, so it'll be sticky and stuff. So these feel really, really good. Like, wow, these are so professional, like quality. And let's go ahead and see what these ones are. These matching as well, or oh wait, they're a little bit. Oh, actually no, they're matching. This one like seems a little bit different because it's got a little bit like lighter right here. But wow, these are so beautiful. Oh my gosh, I like want to design a room around this entire just palette, like stormy gold. Like it's such a vibe. Thank you so much, Tess. I'm so excited about these. Go and check out her Etsy shop below. I love these great Christmas gifts, and I'll see you guys in a new video soon. Bye guys.